How to lose millionaire clients. All right, I'm just going to tell you this is how you do it. You show them a level of transparency that they can't handle and you lose them. Like, honestly, I've done it a couple times where the transparency that I expressed, they could not handle spiritually. We all struggle with that, but that's how I have lost clients who are millionaires. Now, this goes with how you lose friends. I mean, if you're at a level of transparency and awareness that other people can't handle, they can't be your friends. They just can't, because you're shining a mirror to them and exposing that they can't get there. And in fact, they don't want that because it's weak. To them, it's weakness. And it's something that is going to get them off track of pursuing the material possessions and goals that they have in their life, or the material possessions that they have, not even just the goals, but just what they have. There is a feeling of weakness that comes from transparency and self-awareness that we all struggle with. And so when it's attached to, this feeling of like, oh no, I'm gonna lose my material status, or my, if I'm caught hanging out with this person, like other people of a higher status that I want to get to are not gonna want to be friends with me or hang out with me because they know I'm associated with this guy. And oh well, you know, I've had to just accept that certain people are not spiritually mature enough to handle being coached by me. And that is okay. I'm not the coach for them. I'm not the guy they want to see. And I witnessed this when I was a trainer out here in Los Angeles at Equinox, where, very high profile people and wealthy people work out. The type A members who became, people paying for training, they would train with other trainers who were that way. So the personalities matched, but also like the spiritual awareness matched, or the spiritual maturity matched. And that's what they wanted. And you cannot convince somebody that they should train with you if they don't want what you represent. They've got to change their whole priority list. Like, and I've trained those people, and it just doesn't work out. They're like super anal about the program. Like, I need the program. And it's like, yeah, okay. All right. But like a program, programs don't create, programs are only there to facilitate a certain goal that potentially could be reached, but might not be reached. And then what? Right? And then what? What are we going to do after that? The type A trainer will keep someone on a program and tell them the reason they're not progressing is they're not working hard enough. They're not intense enough. They're not eating healthy enough. They're not supplementing correctly. They're not sleeping enough. They're not, their hormones are out. And they just create this dependency with them. they make their client feel dependent on them. I don't want my clients to feel dependent on me, but that's also why I'm not trying to milk them for money. So, I mean, that's the best way to make a lot of money, is to make people feel dependent on you for their success. And I just, I don't need that, because I know it's not true. So, Now, if you want me to be the guy who tells you what to do, keeps you on track, keeps you consistent, creates fun, builds movements for you to, or tells you what movements to focus on and build mobility in, strength in, and stuff like that, we can do that. I can do all that stuff. But I'm not going to be so anal on the program that it makes you feel like you need me, because I don't want you to feel that way. I don't want to perpetuate that feeling of inadequacy. Call me an asshole, but I don't want you dependent on me, because I don't want to be dependent on someone else. I don't want to feel inadequate all the time. Now, it's okay to feel inadequate in something that you are inadequate in, right? But the level of dependency that a lot of trainers and coaches create for people in order for them to finance their life is unhealthy. And I know it's not what life's all about, because I've done the work. Sorry. I did the work, I'm doing the work, and I'm going to continue to do the work so that I never fall into that, that pit of despair of feeling like I'm not enough. And I want to teach other people how to get there, And for a time, you're going to feel like you're not enough or inadequate, but you can build on that, and you can get to a point where that feeling is overcome by an inner adequacy or an inner worthiness that you can develop with God and with yourself. Sorry, I had to drop the G word on you, but God, and that's another way to lose a millionaire client. Mention God, because, not everybody believes in God. Most people have a horrible understanding of what God is. So a lot of people just dance around and don't say anything and say the universe and say, energy and forces and, but, I'm just too studied in theology to accept that. Like, God is ultimate being, I'm talking about the transcendental arguments for God. God is goodness, truth, beauty, being. And I'll talk to my clients about that, because that's usually where friction occurs. Like, who's this idiot talking about God? And I'm like, okay, well, we can talk about it. You've not done really any research in metaphysics to understand the arguments, and so that's okay. I'm not mad at you. Just don't think you know everything, because you clearly don't. You don't have to agree with it, but just at least learn, and then kind of like repeat it back to me, and maybe you can understand it more. So that's definitely a way to lose a millionaire client, is to start talking about God, because a lot of people out in LA are either atheist or don't want anything to do with religion. It's to me, it is sad, because there's the biggest dimension of your life is not properly oriented. And my view is everyone has a relationship with God, whether they like it or not. They just haven't defined him properly. And the defining of God allows for better relationship, And that's with everything, right? The defining of, what your goal is creates a better relationship with that goal. So, if you want to lose weight, losing weight is the goal. You never make that the goal. You say, I want to lose 5 pounds in 2 months by working out in the gym 3 days a week, eating this amount of calories per day, and blah, 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 right? The more specific you can get, the better relationship you will have. So yeah, what did I mention? The how do I lose millionaire clients? I said mention God. And then what was I talking about? Went on a rant there. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, being transparent. Yeah. It's what we all struggle with, but here is the caveat to it all. Okay? When you get to a point where you're making a lot of money and you realize that it is not completely fulfilling, you start to seek out what is more fulfilling than money. That is the person I can train with. I can coach you. That's fantastic because, hey, I feel the same way. I know that money's not going to give me what I need to change my relationship with me or change my relationship with my fiance, change my relationship with my family or anybody else. I know that. Now you know that? Wow. That's great. We can talk. We can work hard together. And I don't have to put on this front like you need me and you can't do anything without me. And like we don't need to play that game. There's no need. Like we're both trying to build fulfillment now in our lives. And that's a long journey, and you need people who see it that way to be in that journey with you. And that's what, like, not to toot my own horn, but that's what I become as a coach. I'm with you. I want you to find fulfillment in this life as much as you can. And I am going to be honest with you. From my perspective, the final step in that fulfillment is a continual improvement in your relationship with yourself and with God. And I had a client ask me one time, because I had done 2 psychedelic therapy sessions with my client, or with my therapist. And I came back from the second one and I was like, I'm good. I don't need to do this again. That's what I went in asking is, how many times do I need to do this? And like the last, I want to say, hour of my session, I knew, oh, okay, cool. This is it. I got what I needed. And he asked me, he's like, why do you do this? Like, because I think it was confusing to him. I think, one, because I'm a Christian, which there's a lot of baggage with. And then second, because I think he was thinking maybe I was going down the path of, where a lot of people do with psychedelics, which is like they just keep chasing. And I told him, I said, well, one, I realized that I got everything I can get out of this, and I no longer need this. Everything else in my life, everything else moving forward is on me. I see where I need to improve. I have the tools. I'm going to improve on my tools, and I'm going to progress in that relationship. I have to do that, and that is on me. No amount of psychedelic medicine is going to really help that right now. So, but the other thing I said was the reason I do it is because when I build a better relationship with myself, I then can build a better relationship with God. And when I build a better relationship with God, I can build a better relationship with myself. So it's this back and forth that is what I'm always doing in my life. And it's the most important thing for me. And every night when I go to sleep, I pray with my fiance. And I thank God for everything in our lives. Not because I don't want it to go away, or like out of some superstition that like, oh no, like if I don't thank God, like he's going to take it away from me. Look, I'm not making fun of that. I know I kind of joked about it just there, but like I know a lot of people are at that point in their life. I'm not anymore. I'm at the point where thank you, God, for what I have. But if I lost it all, I will still thank you. That's how you lose a millionaire client right there. Yeah, you drop something like that on somebody who's just not spiritually mature enough to hold space for it, and it scares them. And especially someone with a lot of money who prioritizes it and can't let it go, and can't let that part of their identity go, and can't move on to what's bigger and brighter, which is being okay with utter defeat.